got it onto paper as fast as he could before he forgot it. But this book is a little bit different. In this book, he had to carefully think back. He had to bring back memories from a long time before. If he wrote it in 100 AD, and the book is about the time when Jesus was on earth, what years was Jesus alive on earth and walking around? We're going back there to the early 30s. All right? So imagine someone around the year 2000 thinking back and writing a book about what had happened in their childhood in the 1930s. That's the kind of distance we're talking about here. It doesn't mean that he doesn't remember it properly. That's not my point at all. He remembers it. It's burned into who he is. He has taught these things again and again his whole life. But he is reaching back throughout his whole lifetime, remembering. That's part of what's going on here. Now, as we go through this series, this is the last thing I'll tell you, and then we're going to jump into imagining John writing this. As we go through this series, we're not going to talk about things like, is this book, was it actually written by John? There is some debate about that out there. We're not going to talk about things like, does it record really what truly happened? There is debate about it because there's always debate about books of the Bible. Books of the Bible are not neutral, are they? If some other historical book from way back in time, like think of what's a historical book that you think of from a long time ago, thousands of years ago? Somebody throw a name out that's not part of the Bible. Yeah, the Odyssey, right? Written by Homer. There's not much debate about whether that was really written by Homer. There's a little bit maybe, but not much because it doesn't matter if it was really written by Homer. There's not much debate about whether what happens in it is true or not because it's obviously not true in any literal sense, right? And it doesn't affect your life if it's true. But the books of the Bible are 100% different. Because if they're written by who they say they were written by, and if they're true, then every human being on earth must deal with them. And they affect our lives dramatically. The whole world is a different place if they're true or if they're not. So there will always be debates about whether the Bible is true or not. And if you're not sure, if that's something you're struggling with, I'm teaching a whole class on it, leading a whole class that will be discussion-based this term, and I would encourage you to join that.